Welcome back. You're watching Prime Property. This festive season was far from being a cheerful one for real estate developers. We didn't see the kind of advertising blitzkrieg that we normally do. Industry body Godrej told Prime Property festive launches were down 90% this year. And while we're in the midst of a buyer's market, builders have been refraining from cutting prices, instead relying on freebies like gold coins, airline tickets, etc. We asked Godrej Properties if it was also holding back on launches.
No, I don't think there's any project anywhere in the country where we are holding back a launch due to market factors. Our launch timing is almost exclusively decided by the regulatory approval timeline. And I think, as soon as we get final approvals for our projects, we try to turn around the launch almost immediately. So I think that to us is the key deciding factor on the timing, not so much market, how the market's doing. But I think certainly we think that despite the tough market conditions, we feel very confident that with some of the projects we have lined up, that once we are able to launch these, we will see very good traction for them.
Okay, Pirojsha, you didn't hold back on launches, but it's still been a very, very subdued festive season. Normally is the best time for you builders. What's your future launch pipeline?
Sure. Yeah, I think you're right. There certainly has been a subdued environment for the sector for the first half of the financial year. I think we're quite happy to note that we've actually, despite that slowdown, been able to register strong growth in both revenues and profits. So if you look at for the first half, our revenues are up about 21% and our profit, both EBITDA and net profit, are up about 50%. But certainly I think we are looking forward to getting more launches done in the second half than we've had in the first half. We're looking at several launches here in Mumbai, especially some of the redevelopment projects that we've been adding to our portfolio, which we think will meet with a very strong reception. So we have projects in Chembur, in Baikala, in Ghatkopar, all of which will be launched in the second half. We're also looking at launching new phases in several of our existing projects around the country. So I certainly hope to see much more robust sales performance in the second half.
Okay, that's your launch pipeline. But Pirojsha, I want to ask you, will builders have to cut prices to get buyers back into the market?
I think for talking about what's happened in the recent past, I don't see any major price correction that's happened. I think prices have been probably a bit flat for the last 6 months or so. And I think the market is in a sort of position, in a wait and watch kind of mode, where it is unknown still whether volumes are going to come back first or whether it's going to come back as a result of a price reduction. Of course, market analysts and others have been predicting a price correction in somewhere like Mumbai for over 2 years, and that certainly hasn't come to fruition. So I think it'll be interesting to see. Clearly, however, there is a slowdown in volume, so I don't think that trend of prices staying flat or increasing while volumes decline is a sustainable one. So either volumes will return as consumer confidence improves, or I think they will have to return as a result of a price reduction. Which of those two scenarios plays out is a little uncertain, and I think very difficult to predict.
And tell us about Godrej BKC in Mumbai. It started as 2013's biggest launch of a commercial property. In these trying times, have you found buyers and tenants?
Sure, that project's going on in full swing. I think construction we're actually a little ahead of schedule, which is good to note. We've sold now just under 200,000 square feet in the project since we launched the project. We have a booking value currently of about 500 crore. Our target was to achieve about 200 to 250,000 square feet of sales on an annual basis. So that's almost been achieved already in the first 6 or 7 months. I think, certainly we're seeing a lot of interest from major institutions who are drawn to moving into BKC, who believe that this project, given the kind of quality we're emphasizing both in terms of design, sustainability, location and so on, is the right one for them. So I think we've been reasonably happy with the response so far, but of course this is a project where we will see ongoing leasing and sales for the next 3 or 4 years.
Well, that was my conversation with Godrej Properties. We're completely out of time, so we'll have to say goodbye. Do write to us with your feedback or any property query. See you same time next week.